Jason Moore here, back with you at Guitar Solo Dojo. I'm going to talk to you about the Van Halen version of Pretty Woman. Easy riff, right? Yeah, kinda. But there's some nuance to that riff that most people miss, including myself for many, many years that I played it. And a lot of that can be attributed to like how you read the transcriptions and what the transcriptions look like. And I love looking at transcriptions because it makes life easy if they're correct. Sometimes they're not correct though. Sometimes they miss little things. And I think that's the case with this song. And although I have seen a couple transcriptions that address some of the issues that I have seen on this riff, most of them don't. So I'm going to talk about those things right now. First of all, just starting it off, not that big of a deal. It's got that really cool... Not a big deal, right? Those are always spot on, those transcriptions for that. We get right into the main riff. Now, this part right here, this is the part that always bothered me because I would do this bar dive. And it's got this real gritty, just nasty thing going on where the string is vibrating against the fretboard a little bit, and it's just really, really hard to get that. So I'd hit the string harder and harder, and it would just sound worse and worse. And so I started noodling around one day, and I was thinking, okay, if I pull off to that note, it gives me that exact effect I was looking for. Whether that's what he did in the record, I have no idea, but I think that sounds pretty darn close. And so that's what I do. I just pull off to that open. Now, this riff is so cool, I should probably take a side step here and say, this is the riff that every time I check out a new amp, this is the thing that I play. I turn it up as loud as I can possibly stand it, and I know if this riff sounds good through the amp is solid, it's good to go. So anyway, just a side note, you should try that sometime. Anyway, so back to the riff here. So the other part that is usually wrong, and it was wrong for a long time, and although I have seen some things that are much more accurate, and I got this by watching one of his live performances, I think on Dave Letterman or something like that. And I was just watching how he did it, and so instead of just doing this, which you'll see it written a lot of times, which sounds, pretty much right, because all the notes are there and everything like that, he doesn't do it like that. He goes... Now when I watched him play it, he very clearly shifts down and he puts his first finger back here on that second fret of the D string, so the E. And so he's hitting that with the chord. Now I have seen one person, or one transcription I should say, add the pinky here to the B, or to the G string, so it's a B, so you're getting a B on the G string and a B on the open B, of course. So you get this. I didn't see him doing that, or I couldn't see it closely enough to tell, so I don't do that, but it looks like this to me. Right, then you go into the rest of the tune. It's one of those little nuances that don't make a huge impact, but for me, it's kind of important because I think it's just really cool, all these little mysteries that you get to unravel. Another one of those little mysteries, another side note here, was when I watched him play Runnin' with the Devil live. And I don't know if it was limited to this one performance, but when I played Runnin' with the Devil, the riff, I'll come back and land on that little E chord right there with my first finger. It makes sense to me. He doesn't do it that way. Not when I saw him, he went like this. He comes back with his ring finger. Now that could go back to some other way he originally played it. Maybe he did the full E chord right there or something like that, but I didn't see him doing that, so I'm not sure what was going on. But anyway, he just, for some reason, I don't know. Anyway, just kind of cool, these fun little Eddie facts that I stumble into once in a while, and I'm always surprised at how many there are, all these little tricks that you can find. Anyway, so back to Pretty Woman. Other than that, the song is pretty straightforward, but that intro riff was something that I always found really, really, really cool. So hope you enjoyed as much as I do, and hope you get some use out of those tips.